So since this is kind of your week one deliverable, I went ahead and printed this off for you to see since we're meeting face to face, but this is what the form is going to look like in the Word document. So I just wanted to go through this with you on a couple of objectives and see if you have any questions after we kind of plot one out together.
Sure.
Here are your course objectives for PH 220. And this is a whole lot of stuff to cover, obviously. So what we're going to have to do with the IRA mapping is figure out where you want to plug in each course objective, and then when you want to cycle back around and kind of spiral that curriculum back for the students.
So with that first objective, gain a conceptual understanding of physics principles, that's actually an objective that I have for the entire course that I want to revisit or address again and again. So if I put it in week one, does that mean it's going to cover all the rest of the weeks, or do I need to also list it in all the weeks that follow?
So then if you're going to cover it in the rest of the weeks, you're going to reinforce it. So that's where you would put, and I would reinforce it in weeks 2 through 7, and maybe you're going to assess it in weeks 5 through 8 or something, depending on your assignments. Yeah. And it's okay if by the end of the 8 weeks you have a pretty large collection of objectives, because a good course should sort of build on that and spiral until you're able to master all of the objectives at the end.
Okay, so those broader goals, then I can break them down each week by weekly objectives that speak to that larger.
Yeah, those are kind of what the student's able to look at and say, all right, this is what I'm going to have to be able to do to say that I know how to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a formative assessment and a summative? I'm a little fuzzy on that.
Right. Well, a formative assessment is any sort of assessment that doesn't necessarily have a score tied to it, but you're just doing a check for understanding.
So would that be like if we're having a discussion in the class and I'm going through and gauging students' understanding of the topic?
Right, yeah.
So that's more of a formative assessment?
Exactly. Ideally with discussion boards, reflective journals, things like that, you're not just writing down whether they accomplished it or not. You're checking and really reading through for content to see, they're way off base with their thoughts. Maybe I need to check in with them, send them an email, and kind of clear up some stuff. With a summative assessment, though, those would be like your graded assignments, your quizzes, sometimes they can be either way. Definitely your final projects or your midterms, those are things that you're going to assign a hard score to, and that's kind of like a stopping point to say, at this point in the course, you have either mastered it or you haven't.
Right.